But while we wait for Parlay Pete, man, I want to pivot to the pro days. Obviously, Caleb Williams went out and threw out his pro day. Keenan Allen was there, and that was a beautiful thing to see. We know where the Bears are going. They're drafting Caleb Williams at 1. If you were another team, you were at that pro day to watch the other players. You weren't there to watch Caleb Williams because, you know what? Maybe you were. Maybe to get some intel or when you're playing against it. But he's not going to be your guy. And I barely care about pro days, honestly. Sam Darnold looked great at his pro day. Josh Rosen looked great at his pro day. Okay. You can throw the hell out of a football when there's nobody there, when there's no defense, when you're with your receivers, when you've practiced the script time and time again. That does very little for me. But what is it that I'm looking for? But with Caleb Williams, right? There's been some interesting stuff coming out of the Chicago Bears locker room. Cornerback Jalen Johnson says, you can't bring that Hollywood stuff into the building. We're going to see through it. You got to prove yourself. That speaks to how these guys felt about Justin Fields. Then you have Cole Kmet coming out and saying he didn't go out on it. He was too upset that Justin Fields was traded to go out on a Saturday night. Let's play this one.
All from Flus and the people with the Bears and decided to stay in after the news with Justin. Obviously really upsetting that it kind of came to that and, where it was at that moment. But, you kind of felt like the writing was on the wall with that really when I was keeping up with the combine. So you kind of what you heard with what Ryan and coach said, and you kind of felt like that's kind of where things were going to be headed. And you just kind of hoped that Justin could find a situation that he was comfortable with. And I know that they were trying to do right by him, and it seems like they were able to do that for the most part. So I call from Flus and the people.
So these guys really love Justin Fields, and they're not going to make it easy for Caleb Williams. Now, I do think that Caleb Williams is getting a tough rap because, they think of him as a Hollywood guy. He's just premier player, but it also makes sense. I understand why these guys feel this way because this is what they've seen. They've seen the nail paint. They know about the NIL deals. They know about the nice house in LA. They know about him being pampered. And what we talked about in hour 1 with the AAU and the NBA prospects is guys been pampered. These are NFL players. And when you take away a guy from our team that we really like for a guy who may be more talented, may have more upside, it's like, hey, man, you got to prove yourself to us. Just because you're the number 1 overall pick, just because the coach likes you, just because the front office likes you, just because ownership likes you, doesn't mean that you show up here day 1 and we like you. No, you got to earn our respect. And based on the way Caleb Williams has played, we haven't heard anything negative from teammates about him or anything. Now that we've heard anything positive, I don't think he's going to show up with you know what? I'm being PC. Caleb Williams is going to have to go in there, bust his ass, and prove himself. Because there's been a lot of entitlement coming out of the Caleb Williams camp, wanting ownership of the team. There was rumblings that he didn't want to go to the Bears. In the interview I listened to earlier today, he talked about wanting to go to a place that cares. You're worried about the fans caring. Look, man, you need to worry about going to the place that's going to best maximize you and win games. Okay? I like the fact that Caleb Williams came out and said he doesn't like to run. He preferred to pass. Good. And maybe you were playing so off script because of the terrible O-line that you had and the terrible defense you had, and you felt that pressure. But at the end of the day, Caleb Williams is going to have to go in there, prove himself, put his head down, and be a team-first guy. You're going to have to take those linemen out to dinner. You might have to buy them guys, nice little present, give them some nice speakers.
Rolex.
Give them a Rollie. It doesn't have to be.
With a bag of ranch.
Huh?
I said with a bag of ranch.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do something for him because the team is not necessarily happy about you showing up. DJ Moore tweeted, business is business. I talked about the cornerbacks comments. I talked about Cole Clement being like, yeah, he didn't want to go out on Saturday night. The writing was on the wall, and these guys are hurt that they're losing Justin Fields, and you're the guy to replace him. So hopefully your team and hopefully your personality, who you are as a human being, your character shows them that, hey, man, I have no control over coming here. It wasn't my intent to boot your guy out of here, but I'm here to bust my ass and show you guys that, hey,
that they're making the right decision.
I'm the man for the job. Yeah, you got Keenan Allen's respect because Keenan Allen's the LA guy. Y'all probably worked out together. He knows you. You know, little Jordan Palmer here or there, you know, all of this cool stuff. But Keenan Allen, he's nobody in that locker room right now. He hasn't put on the Bears jersey yet. And who the hell's going to wear number 13?
He's new too.
Who's going to wear 13? Caleb or Keenan?
Caleb.
Yeah, man. So you got anything to add on the Caleb Williams thing?
Well, we're gonna see what he does. Like I don't want to judge a book by its cover, and I don't want to be too politically correct about it. But it's just what all do we truly know about Caleb Williams outside of what other people have said about him, and not what we've seen about him? He's a guy that has won. It seems like, well, maybe not won, but like many others that have left high school, he was a winner probably leaving high school, top recruit. He followed his coach from Oklahoma. He won the job. He took the job from Spencer Rattler out there. Like, you know, he won a Heisman. Like, I mean, individually, clearly he's a great player. So we'll get to see what he ends up doing. He certainly has every opportunity to be great in his rookie year because I can't name a rookie quarterback that's had a better supporting cast offensively than he has headed into their rookie year. Name a better one, seriously.
Say again?
Like offensive weapon-wise, name a better – who's had better weapons than him?
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I mean, you got 2 number 1 receivers and what, like a top 5, 7 tight end?
I wouldn't say 5, but 10 for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, what's your 5 at tight end?
Top 10 tight end, at least statistically last year, top 10 running back. And duo-wise, receiver from your 1 and 2, certainly top 10. So you're top 10 at every position. Skill position, you're top 10.
I'm trying to think. I'm looking at – yeah, so in fantasy –
Kmet's top 10.
In fantasy, Kmet is 7.
Okay.
He had 73 receptions, 719 yards, 6 tubs.
That's arguably top 5.
And behind him, yeah, I mean, but ahead of him is Laporte.
I just think I can name 5 tight ends that
No, you can. Laporta, Kittle, Kelsey, Hockenson, Njoku, Evan Ingram.
Oh, and I would take Kyle Pitts going into this year over him because Kyle Pitts is better than him in reality.
You know, Kyle Pitts had 90 targets last year.
Kyle Pitts, yeah, and how many were over his head? Like, I mean, like, how many were him maybe running an out, and that shit was on the sideline, like it was in Archer Smith's hands. Like what was he supposed to do about that? Like,
Desmond Ridder was terrible.
Yeah, we're talking top 5 bad.
Hey, so let's pivot to
He's Desmond Shitter.